Hello, I'm Bernell Alexander. I'm a second year law student at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School with an interest in intellectual property law. I have a biology undergraduate degree and I plan on sitting for the patent bar exam in the coming year. I'm serving as the 2021 IP Fall Institute Law Student Reporter. Hey, David, being a partner at Gearhart for just over 5 years, what is the best advice you can give to a young, aspiring patent attorney and intellectual property attorney? What areas should we be watching closely or expecting to be relevant for the future?
Great question, Bernell. I actually mentor a lot of law students, and I'll give you and all our intellectual property and potential patent attorney uh, viewers the same piece of advice. It's actually multi-layered. I think the first thing is to really, really show how passionate you are about the intellectual property community. There is so much you can do as a law student. There is so much you can do as a young lawyer. That includes getting involved in the American Bar Association, the intellectual property law section, seeing how it works behind the curtain, right? Seeing how the section can offer you opportunities in writing, in resolution writing, in policy making, or just potentially networking with other intellectual property law students and attorneys from around the world. That really shows the passion you will have for this industry. Being a patent attorney is all about writing. It's about writing great claims, writing, great technical descriptions on inventions. And so finding a mentor or finding a job or an internship or whatever level you're at that allows you to write and grind and write and argue and really hone your skills. That's going to become invaluable. So hone your skills is probably the other best piece of advice that I would give a young patent attorney. I think in terms of areas of relevancy, what I'm seeing, what I think is really hot these days in terms of topics in the world of intellectual property, particularly patents, is related to food, plant-based, right? Everybody is jumping on the plant-based alternative protein wagon. People do not want to eat meat anymore. But yet they would eat meat if it was derived from plants. So I have a lot of clients in this space and we're seeing a lot of activity. So food tech, virtual reality. I mean, it's always kind of been hot, but with COVID, what we're seeing is different ways to create a virtual and augmented reality experience at home in terms of entertainment. That's really become very popular. I think even as we get COVID under control, people realize that they don't need to be in a stadium with 100,000 people if they could have that experience at home. We see a lot of software companies really trying to create the ultimate virtual and augmented reality experience at home. So it kind of feels like you're there. And that involves software and different technologies, mechanical devices, electrical devices, everything kind of, kind of swirling around that entertainment field. I think lastly, the big kind of area that I see is all related to data, whether it's cybersecurity, big data, data protection, even artificial intelligence and how it relates to data. Getting involved in that software field, I think can only increase your value as a future or young intellectual property attorney. Thanks.
Hi, my name is John Pierce. I'm a 2L at Texas A&M University School of Law, and I'm a law student reporter for the IP Fall Institute. I'm currently a registered patent agent and really excited to be a part of the ABA. Hey, David, how are we regulating data transmission across the globe?
Great question, Mr. Pierce. Currently, there are very few regulations about data in this world. Probably the most popular is what we call the GDPR out of Europe. But and that's what regulates data, our personal identifiable information. It was really monumental in its origins. And frankly, the United States is not there yet. The United States does not have a federal regulation around data. We have some state laws, we have some privacy laws, we have some consumer protection laws, but nothing as robust as the GDPR, which protects how data is transmitted in and out of the EU. A few other countries, Brazil has some data protections, but we have over 200 countries in this world, and they're just not there yet. I think what will be really interesting for the people that are watching this video is to check out the 2021 IP Fall Institute. We have a whole presentation about data and how data can be protected in healthcare industries and entertainment industries. That's on September 28th at 4:30 p.m. You should all check it out, because there we will kind of really be delving into how data is being regulated around the world and how the United States is responding to the fact that we don't have a federal legislation yet around data, and how corporates are responding to that. Like, what is their responsibility for our data? What is their responsibility to the consumer? What is their responsibility to the world in terms of how data is transmitted? That's the big data. It's all about, that's the new currency in this world. It's actually not that new anymore, but that's the future. And so please join us at this presentation, and you'll hear some fascinating opinions on what's being done in terms of protecting data and how we look to the future in terms of protecting data. Thank you.